Hi everybody, this is the Baseball Head, the amazing, spectacular, terrific, the great one, the People's Champion, your host, the Head. Welcome back to the Baseball Head 3, and hopefully you like this video, hit that subscribe button. So let's talk about something I'm not too familiar with. This is the Dan Batard show, and this guy named John Wiener, a.k.a. Stugotz. Now what's funny is the name of these two individuals. I mean, this is like giving red meat to a lion, in the case of me talking about them. Dan Batard. Sounds familiar. It rhymes with another word. Someone missing a couple chromosomes. And of course, Stugotz, a Jewish guy with a Italian nickname. Nobody wants to be called a wiener. I mean, the Dan Batard show starring the wiener. That's very unfortunate names. I cannot make this up. But let me read you from Batard Media. I guess they had a show. I'm not all into these different podcasts and shows, so, just keep that in mind. But this is what Batard Media had to say. Can the Dan Batard show relationship with Stugotz be revived? Can the Dan Batard show relationship with Wiener be revived? One of sports media's great partnerships did not end with a bang. It faded into uncertainty until someone finally tells the full story. That uncertainty is all the audience has left. I'm just thinking of different things to say, different comedic things to say. What's going on between the Dan Batard show, Meadowlark Media, and John Stugotz Wiener? What's between them? I don't know. Take that in another room. That question continues to be asked with little to no answers revealed by any of the parties involved. For more than 2 decades, the Dan Batard show with Wiener has been a trend-setting outlier in sports media. Yet in 2026, significant cracks appear in the foundation of that partnership. Like any long-term relationship, the bond wears down over time. A partnership only survives if all sides work together to maintain it. Right now, the two central figures, Batard and Wiener, appear to be positioning themselves as if the responsibility lies with the other. Feels reminiscent of the Spider-Man pointing meme that has circulated endlessly on social media and in group text. What has unfolded over the past month has been unsettling for longtime followers of Batard product. That really brings the question continually back to the forefront, still without a clear answer. What is really happening between Dan Batard and Wiener? Question mark. Much of the conversation sounds like it revolves around divorce. For all intents and purposes, separation of... Let me read this again. For all intents and purposes, the separation of Wiener from his role as a full-time co-host was gradual. Guess he did pull out right away. What? It began with him spending more time away from the show before evolving into a negotiated arrangement for appearances. That transition conveniently coincided with Meadowlark Media co-founder John Skipper. What the hell kind of names are these? Leaving the company after 4 years, followed weeks later by DraftKings renewing his partnership with Meadowlark Media. Since then, Wiener has built his own podcast network with God Bless Football and Stugotz and Company. He landed a title sponsor with FanDuel and recently signed on to host Afternoon Drive on Fox Sports Radio. The move away from Batard's program has proven successful. Wiener continues to expand his own media footprint, building off the brand he helped create alongside Batard and during his time at 790 The Ticket in Miami and beyond. Batard publicly supported Wiener's decision to go on his own path. And in his interview with Batard Media last July, he said he understood Wiener's desire. You can't make this up. It's about as unfortunate names as you could possibly get here. Desire to pursue solo work and was excited. I'm sure he was excited. Let me just read this again. He said he understood Wiener's desire to pursue solo work. I ain't touching that one. And was excited. to see how it would develop. I mean, my God. How can this guy write this and not keep a straight face? At the time, it seemed reasonable to believe the relationship between remained intact without lingering resentment. Then came the first visible crack. During the final episode of God Bless Football under the Meadowlark Media umbrella in May, Stugotz told listeners that if they weren't happy about the show moving elsewhere, they should blame Meadowlark Media. He added that the blame should fall specifically on Les Batard and David Sampson, a normal name, who hosts Nothing Personal with David Sampson for Meadowlark. The comment was delivered with a smile, but the time and impact were hard to ignore. It should be noted that Sampson told Batard Media earlier today that he was not personally responsible for any changes to the Dan Les Batard show. From there, Weiner accelerated his independent growth. I mean, what the hell, man? Audience size, revenue, and reach followed. I'm sure it did. A return to radio soon came as he continued strengthening his personal brand. Meanwhile, Les Batard carried on building Meadowlark Media's existing momentum. Oh boy, this is a fun video. I don't know if the writer wrote this intentionally like this, but thank you. In October, optimism briefly returned. Weiner told Wake Up Barstool on FS1 that he would be doing several shows with Les Batard in the near future. It felt like progress. Perhaps the relationship was heading toward a meaningful reunion, getting back together. Just before Christmas, listeners received another update. Weiner announced he had agreed to appear on the Dan Les Batard show 9 times during January 2026. He was careful, however, to manage expectations. If for whatever reason after the new year you don't hear me 9 times in January on the show with Dan, then that is a decision not made by me, the Weiner said. The decision will be made by Dan and Meadowlark. The statement raised more questions than answers. Why would Les Batard offer the appearances only to potentially walk them back? Oh, he pulled out. Was the relationship truly healing, or was it still fractured beneath the surface? That marked the final mention of any Weiner appearances. I mean, come on. Until earlier this week, when Les Batard said the door remains wide open for his return, after making a flippant remark about Jonathan Zaslow earning the New Gots label. Les Batard clarified his intent. If it appears flipped to our audience in any way that the Stugotz thing is something we are enjoying, hear privately as you react and get annoyed, please understand that I love Weiner. I will always love Weiner. It says Stugotz, but I think it's funny if he says, he's not going to say he loves Weiner. I mean, if he's a heterosexual man. Imagine. Les Batard said, we invited him to our Miami, Indiana watch party. We've been inviting him all month to be on the show. And we want him around here. The door is wide open for him. Okay. Wide open for that Weiner. Those comments came just days after Weiner described how deeply the split has affected him. Quote, whatever went down with me and Dan was deeply hurtful. Took me to some really strange and dark places. I'm still trying to claw my way out, Weiner said on his radio show last week. Well, don't pick up women on the street. He's trying to be funny. And so the confusion remains. The Dan Les Batard show with Stugotz still carries Weiner's name after his departure. Weiner says he agreed to 9 January appearances, but says any absence is not his decision. As of now, he has yet to reappear, despite Les Batard's saying the door is open. Is this business or is this personal? It might be personal, you never know. Then you've had the respect to call me Godfather. It is hard to imagine DraftKings and Meadowlark Media blocking an appearance solely because of a competing sportsbook sponsorship. It is, they're all from the same place. I mean, really. It is equally hard to believe Weiner would stop taking calls from Les Batard after more than 2 decades of success and friendship. Doesn't seem like friendship to me. Could Meadowlark have failed to fully advocate for Weiner during DraftKings extension talks in the spring? That possibility could certainly cause resentment. Still, raises another question. Why agree to appearance dates months later? It is also possible DraftKings for other talent, such as David Sampson or Pablo Torre. Even that scenario, however, does not explain how Wiener successfully built his own network, secured sponsorship, and expanded his platform elsewhere. Whatever the truth may be, the public breakup and stalled reunion of one of sports media's most iconic duos remains puzzling. Radio is an art form built on performance and entertainment. Could this all be part of a storyline? Perhaps, yet authentic emotion. It's difficult to fake. From now, all sides appear to be pointing fingers. The Batard is pointing fingers at the Wiener, and vice versa. For a show known for transparency, the silence is jarring. One of sports media's great partnerships did not end with a bang. It faded into uncertainty, till someone finally tells the full story. That uncertainty is all the audience has left. And I hope you enjoyed this video. And like I've always said, whenever I read these articles, the first time I've been reading it, and the writer here, John Mamola, gets my Hut seal of approval. The first Hut seal of approval of all time. How did he write this and not laugh? How did he give this to his editor and the editor and say, maybe you put a lot of wieners in this thing? The wiener was excited. I mean, come on. That had to get edited. Come on. It probably slipped in. Well, you can take that joke any way you want. But anyway, thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe to the Baseball at 3, and I'll see you later.